and welcome back to our favorite stuff, the brother podcast duo. We cover our favorite stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory. Music, sports, video games. Coming at you every Monday. Robert's filter just fell down. Yo, tighten it. Just tighten it.
Jesus Christ.
Nothing like starting off an episode with technical difficulties.
Wait, are they going the wrong way?
You are. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, buddy.
I keep it. It's all based on perspective. I'm on the wrong perspective.
Yeah. There we go.
Jesus
there we go.
Christ.
All right. Anyways, now we're starting the episode. Stop fidgeting with it.
Do you remember how long ago? Didn't you make us some post on our Instagram about these new mics?
Yeah.
How they're amazing. How long ago was that? Do you think?
It's about a year ago.
Yeah.
We got them. Yeah, I would say about a year ago because it was just about starting to get cold when I got these.
They're starting to fall apart on us.
Yeah. So I mean, they're still good mics. I'm not gonna say they're bad mics.
Oh no, the quality of them.
They're doing great. My hat keeps bumping them. Speaking of them.
Yeah, so I stopped wearing a hat during these things.
My hair is out of control if I don't. So yeah, welcome back. If you're new, thanks for clicking in. If you want to see us a lot, then click the subscribe button. That'd be great. If you're not new and you're returning, thank you for your
patronage.
I was gonna say patronage, but I didn't think that was the right word.
I think that's the right word.
You always yell at me.
Sometimes if you say a big word, then that sounds right, people won't question you. So it's like just go
they
with
just think
it.
you're smart enough.
Yeah, it's all about the confidence. If they don't know either, they'll just believe you if you're confident.
So today's October 9th we're recording on. You'll be listening to this on Thanksgiving. Oh, Canadian Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to
American has a November, yeah.
Yeah, I think we pushed ours back because it's cold as balls. I'm pretty sure that's why we pushed ours back.
What do you mean, didn't push ours back?
I'm pretty sure that's why ours is in October, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys, if you're listening to this. Hope you guys ate a lot of turkey. I have not yet, so I'm excited to this weekend.
Me too.
And hopefully you're all thankful that you don't have the coronavirus and that your family's all well.
True.
That's what you should be thankful for.
Unless they aren't, and
then sorry. Yikes. Thankful that they're good. They're getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today, ahead of the release of NHL 16.
NHL 16, guys, newest edition. Let's go.
NHL 21 on October 16th.
That's why I said 16.
Yeah. We're going to be talking a bit. We're going to deep dive into it. As of today, EA members can play it, can give it like a free trial to it. So I won't. I'll just wait till I buy it on the 16th.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're going to get a deep dive into the new features and stuff. We might talk about a little bit about sports because it was free agency day for NHL.
Which kind of fits the tone, considering NHL 21
exactly.
was some hockey.
Yeah, baseball's going on. Still, we got playoffs, so that's probably where we'll start. We'll do a little buffer on that. But yeah, that's what we got coming up for today's episode. So, like I said,
if there's time, I'm adding a surprise segment. Pointing that out. A surprise topic that I'm not going to tell you about. You know about it, but it's just going to come out of nowhere. You won't even see it coming. You always get a pick? I'm picking one thing. Out of nowhere. I'll cut you off. That's a promise.
All right, and Robert's surprise segment will be coming up whenever.
It's not even a segment. It's just a topic I'll talk about for like 2 minutes.
Whenever he wishes.
But considering I usually don't come up with the ideas, it's a big thing for me.
All right. First, I'm actually going to start off with a funny story that happened to me yesterday. So I do deliveries right now because of COVID. I do home deliveries for a grocery store locally, and so I'm doing this delivery, and I got my hands full, and I was walking out of the back of the truck. So it's like your classic like pedo van. It's basically it is. It's got 2 windows. It's just a white pickup. Or like a white
Wait, I thought it had
box van. It's got Vince's on it, but it's only got 2 windows, which is why I think it's a pedo van.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm popping onto the back hatches with my hands full, and the door's closed behind me and whatever. So I deliver and I come back, fucking locked myself out of the truck yesterday.
Oh wait, I saw that in your Instagram story.
On the job, 3 deliveries left to go. Fucking 7:30.
What did you do? Did you call Vince's?
So God bless this company that I work for, but the people inside of it, so I call Mike, my supervisor. He's really nice, and he's like, yeah, I don't have Carmen's number, but I got Wayne's, which is the supervisor for Newmarket, or supervisor of produce. I'm like, all right, cool. So I call him, and he's like, yeah, I'm not at the store. He's like, but they should have a spare key. I'm like, okay. So I call the store, and the guy that was working on the produce that night, he was like, yeah, I found it. I'm like, okay, cool. He's not the smartest guy. So I'm like, good. Hopefully it's the right key. And I'm like, who's working? Because he can't drive. The guy in produce. The guy that was working in the grocery department can't drive. The supervisor on hand for cashiers. I need to stop name dropping here. Cashiers, she can't drive. So I asked the guy in produce, and I'm like, hey, like, who's in bakery? And he's like, I'm like, hey, who's in deli? And he's like, I'm like, hey, forget it. I'll get somebody to come to you to grab the key. And so I had to call my girlfriend to go grab the key from Michael, and then bring the key all the way back to me in Newmarket.
Jesus.
So I was almost out of the road for about half an hour.
Just chilling.
Outside this person's house.
Watching some YouTube videos or
Pretty
whatever.
much. I was literally just on Instagram, on Twitter.
You couldn't even get into the truck.
No.
Or van.
Truck was running. Van was running. All doors were locked. So it was cold. It was cold.
Nice.
I was huddled up against
the exhaust.
the engine. Yeah, trying to stay warm.
Oh, the engine, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my day yesterday.
That's fantastic.
Had to tell that funny story. What I'm figuring is, for some reason, these GM vans have a lock on the back doors. Like a power lock. So I must have bumped it when I was trying to get out. I don't know. Wasn't fun. Wasn't a happy camper.
I can't imagine. That's
I was pretty mad. We were supposed to film yesterday. Robert canceled anyways because he was busy. But thankfully, because I didn't get home till like I didn't clock out of work till like 8:45.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty bad.
Sorry,
but yeah.
I was like hissing to the mic. Sorry, I'm getting frustrated about this. I can't with my arm anywhere. My bad. I didn't. I just made like the most disgusting noise ever into the microphone. That is diabolical. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm like a cat spin up a hairball.
It's better than you normally bark.
Oh, barking's fun. I won't do that into the microphone, hopefully.
No, please don't.
So much fun.
Please
I don't know.
don't.
It's good. It's like self-therapy or something. When you're frustrated, and have a couple good barks, and you're just self-cleansing.
Tom Segura has a joke. He's a comedian on Netflix. If you guys should check him out, he's really funny. He always had a joke. He's like, you ever been so mad where you're just like, ugh?
Yeah,
like
literally
he literally does that. He's just like, ugh. Like,
it's good. It's good. Like, I do it when I'm jokingly frustrated. I was like, I don't know. There's something about him, man.
But yeah, he literally has a joke like that. Like, you ever been so mad where
it's pretty common. A couple of my friends, one of my friends does it. Can't even lie and say a couple.
But yeah, so with sports right now, not a whole lot. Like, there was free agency was crazy today.
Yeah.
A lot crazier than I expected. Free agency is probably the second biggest day in NHL.
Besides, like, what, Stanley
besides
Cup
trade
final?
deadline.
Oh.
So
where does Stanley Cup final come in? That's what the biggest day is?
No, because you kind of know what's going on. I mean, like, free agency and trade deadline's nuts.
Okay.
Because everyone only has speculation, and then, because all this, like, free agency is frozen until 12 p.m. today. Like, you can't officially sign anybody till 12 p.m., and a lot of trades don't usually happen. But 12 p.m. hits, and fucking people just contracts. They're just signing contracts, everybody. As far as the Leafs go, like, we signed Wayne Simmons, which I was pretty happy about. He's a 1 year, $1.5 million, good contract.
Was he just in Philadelphia, or did he get traded somewhere else first?
Where did he just come out of? New Jersey.
New Jersey, because he was in Philadelphia for the majority of his career, right?
Yeah, Philadelphia's his best years. I don't know. I think he's bounced around a bit since then, but
yeah, that usually happens when good players eventually stick on one team for a long time, they get traded around a bunch, and then die.
Yeah, because they're usually the reason why their prime team gets rid of them is because they're not productive anymore.
Yeah,
right?
And other teams pick them up, hoping to like squeeze some life out of them, and then they.
That's pretty much what the Leafs are doing here.
Yeah, that's what. I don't know. I don't know. Either way, yeah.
With a 1 year, $1.5 million. Okay. It's a perfect contract for a third, fourth line guy. And the Leafs have had this issue with their cap, where I'm not so mad about the big guys what they're getting paid, because people always look at $40 million like dedicated to 4 players. I'm not mad about that. I'm mad about like third line guys like Kapanen making $4 million. If you're gonna play on the third and fourth line, $2 million max. $2 million max, because like you can't build a hockey team where you just give everyone what they want money wise.
Yeah.
So Jason Spezza re-signed with us for league min again, $700,000. God bless his soul.
$700,000. Ben's working for tips.
League min, pretty much. And then Wayne Simmons does 1 year, 1.5. I'm like, boom, those are the contracts.
Really, 1.5 for Wayne Simmons? He settled?
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Apparently he left money on the table to come home. He's from Scarborough. Yeah. Same with Jason Spezza. The only reason is because
I thought maybe considering he used to be really, really good, that he'd have some sort of inflated ego where he'd ask for a ton of money because he like still thinks he's in his glory days. But that's reasonable.
it's a
amount of
good
money.
time for us Leaf fans right now because a lot of people are from the GTA and the Leafs are a decent team. So
they want to play for. Like,
Kyle
team.
Dubas can have this kind of token where he goes, hey,
I don't know who the hell that is.
it's our GM.
I don't know GMs.
He goes, hey, you want to come home? You want to take a bit of a discount to come home and possibly win a cup here? Like that's his trading chip, right?
Yeah.
In the past, the Leafs don't have that because they weren't good.
They were just completely.
But now they're pretty good, so we can kind of be like, hey, like, do you want to?
Want a discount? Come here and then win. 40% of our games this season. Yeah, that doesn't sell as well.
Another thing about Toronto too is I would, even if I wasn't a Leaf fan, like you got to look at places like the Chicago Cubs, for instance. We'll blend sports together here. In 2016, when they ended a 108-year playoff drought where they haven't won a championship in 108 years,
Oh my God.
Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant are getting statues one day in front of fucking Wrigley because they carried that team
Yeah.
into a World Series championship. David Ross, good old Coach Ross, he's coaching them now, by the way. He's getting a stat. Like these people are they should have a whole square dedicated to this team.
Yeah.
108
They're probably
years?
the biggest thing in Cubs history.
Yeah, most of the people that watched the first
what else,
one weren't alive.
What even happened? But yeah, what even happened with the Cubs ever before them? One time.
You know what I mean? So I think there has to be an attraction to some players. You would think to be like, yo, if we win here, if we win in Toronto,
yeah. Because when was
forget
the last
statues, bro. You're getting arenas named after you. You know what I mean?
The last big thing in Toronto was for a long time ago too.
Yeah, it's been 1967 was the last time we won a cup.
It's a long time.
It's a long fucking time, brother. We're the longest playoff drought in NHL, I think. I don't think sports.
Really, NHL?
Yeah.
Really, biggest drought.
Yeah, for championship. Yeah.
That's nuts. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's some teams that haven't won a cup yet, but
they haven't been around for as long.
Yeah, they haven't been around as long.
Have the Predators won a cup?
No.
And they haven't been around. How long have they been around?
02, I think.
Yeah, they were one of the expansions.
Either 98 or 02.
Either way, not long, not nearly as long as the Leafs because they were original 6.
Yeah. But yeah, so there was a bunch of big names being thrown around free agency today. We got Henry Lundqvist went to the Caps.
Yeah, that kind of set me.
Goalies. Today was a goalie day. Every time I looked around, goalies. So basically, we'll break it down real quick for you, and then we'll get to NHL 21. Holtby, former Capitals #1. He is now playing for the Canucks. He's now a Canucks
That was
goalie.
kind of crazy. The Canucks I feel like they're slowly getting something going on.
Well, the problem though there is that they let go of their #1, Jacob Markstrom, and Markstrom is now playing for the Flames. And then Henry Lundqvist, like I said, Capitals. What other goalie? Matt Murray got traded. This was yesterday or 2 days ago.
Senators.
We got traded to the Senators. So the Senators are okay. So the Senators are in a weird position.
Do they have
here.
new jerseys?
Yeah, new old jerseys.
Yeah, I saw a post that said, "Oh, great!
I
All
like
the
them.
Ottawa Senators are gonna suck in style this year." And I'm like, it's the Senators are hopeless.
Well, see, they're not though because
No, you think this year or something?
they had a good draft year, picking 3rd and 5th in the first
good.
round. They also got they have a lot of money to spend. So
Really? What do they have a big...
you've heard of a salary cap, right?
Yeah.
There's also a salary floor. You have to spend a certain amount of money on your team.
Why?
With signing Murray,
Why do they? Why is it a requirement? What's the point?
it's to make sure. I think that's a PA thing. I think it's to make sure that you're putting a competitive team and not tanking on purpose.
I guess, yeah, it makes sense.
So they gave Matt Murray a new contract once they traded for him, and I think they've made a couple other signings today. They're still a bunch of million. They haven't even hit the floor yet. They've got money. If they can trick players into coming to Ottawa, they got money.
Trick players.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they got a good young core.
But how much money do they actually have to spend
they'll be good.
in Ottawa? Is their fan base that big?
No.
Exactly. So where are they getting money from? Who goes to watch a Senators game?
So the problem with that is that they put the arena in a dumb spot. They didn't put it downtown. They put it out in the fucking boonies.
Yeah, because already, even though it was downtown, their attendance still wouldn't be that like, comparable to the bigger places.
Well,
but
it would
it'd be better.
I think the problem is the location.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
I remember in 2016, I think was when they went to the conference final. They got beat by the Penguins. It was like prime Eric Carlson and Anderson was standing on his head, and they had a bunch of good guys still, right? And they couldn't sell out a conference final game. They were literally 4 wins away from the Stanley Cup, and they couldn't sell out.
Really?
I'm like, that's embarrassing.
That's really embarrassing for sure.
Sid Sixero of Sportsnet, right?
Yeah.
Like from Tim and Sid. He went on a rant. He's like, "You're an embarrassment." He's like, "This is not only Canada's game, like it's hockey in Canada."
Yeah.
He's like, "But you're in like the nation's capital, and you can't sell out a hockey game. Like that's ridiculous." In a conference final, like
Being
4 wins away from going to the
they
Stanley
must
Cup.
have been the only Canadian team left probably at that
Yeah.
point. Exactly, and then people aren't. If that was like Toronto, you'd have people coming from other provinces to come watch that game.
Or have a bunch of rich people that don't give a fuck about money.
Yeah,
Or like
you'd have
hockey.
every single Torontonian wanting to go to that game. You'd have people outside in like the parking lot.
Yeah, in Maple Leaf Square.
Yeah, you'd have people coming in from like Manitoba to have like a stupid amount of money just because they want to. Ottawa, like you're struggling to fill up because you're in fuck.
So I'm excited to see what they do. What other big names here? Shattenkirk just won the Cup with the Lightning. He's signed with the Ducks.
Oh my God, the Ducks.
They must have gave him a lot of money. Like
I forgot the Ducks existed. They're one of those teams. They're like the Pirates for me.
they're in the middle of a rebuild, which is I don't know why Shattenkirk went there. He just won a cup with the Lightning, and I guess the Lightning probably wouldn't have but he's a good defenseman. So you're telling me no other team, or did he just went? I want to stay where it's warm. A lot of players do that. A lot of players go, it's warm here.
Why care about the weather? What? You can go inside and you have heat. You can afford it. You're a professional
Multi-million-dollar
sports player. You can afford heating.
But no, it was a good day. Leafs also got TJ Brody, a well-needed defenseman. It was a good day for free agency. If you haven't caught up yet, just go to Sportsnet's Instagram page. They have every signing today. It's been fucking bananas. As far as baseball, we got the NLCS sets, the Dodgers and the Braves. That's gonna be a good NLCS, man. That's gonna be.
Usually I don't watch those ones, but I might actually watch that. It sounds like such a good series.
The Braves haven't lost a game in the postseason yet.
The Braves and Dodgers are both teams that I'm actually rooting for, which is weird because usually I root for. I don't know if I want. Yet again, I am rooting for the Yankees though because I feel like
I think I want the Braves to win.
I don't usually cheer for the underdogs. It's weird. I feel like if a team on paper is better, they deserve to win because they're the better players. But there's something about the Braves and the Dodgers that I just like.
The Braves have been so good. Like I said, haven't lost a playoff game. They won their 2 wild card series.
Are they down anyone for COVID? I don't know.
No. The MLB today, for the 41st day in a row, reported no new COVID tests.
I thought they had a couple people that weren't playing.
At the beginning of the year.
Okay, because
they got healthy. And,
okay.
Yeah, because Freeman wasn't
playing,
and one of their starters wasn't playing.
But Freeman, he joined in.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd be able to win anything without Freeman.
Yeah. Freeman, I think, had COVID. I think he did.
Yeah,
he
we did an episode. What episode was that? We literally did a whole episode on
that was a couple episodes ago now. I would say like
mid-20s or something.
Yeah. But yeah, Freeman had COVID and he recovered. He recovered pretty quick. And they cleared him to play. And
I guess sports players probably have like some of the best chances because they're the most like healthy people on planet Earth.
1,000%.
So they probably recover pretty
Yeah.
fast, unless you're someone I don't like, Vladdy Guerrero, who's living on cheeseburgers apparently. I think sort of that fact you get me where he's like he never touched a weight in his life before his MLB.
Yeah, and then he lost all this weight, and everyone's like, "Yo, watch out for Vladdy this year."
And then he put it back on.
And then fucking Big Chungus comes out to play first. Swear to God. Man,
yeah, that was
insane.
If he was in better shape, he could be so much better than.
He had a tough year this year. Speaking of Vladdy,
I feel
we're
like
not gonna spend too much time on him, but
I feel like if he loses the weight and puts on some good muscle, he'll be able to do a lot better.
He needs to be built like his dad, man.
Yeah,
his dad's in good shape.
Yeah,
or was in good shape, anyways. So yeah, we have the Dodgers and Braves waiting to stand by play the NLCS. And then right now, actually, as we speak, and I mean, you'll know the score come Monday when this comes out, we have the Yankees and the Rays playing their 5th and deciding game of the ALDS. Winner goes on, loser goes home.
I think I think if the Rays beat the
And
Yankees, I have to cheer for the Rays.
and they're going on to play the Astros, who beat the Athletics surprisingly.
Yeah, which is, I am kind of taken aback that the Astros are actually doing really well in the playoffs.
Yeah, so I said this at the very beginning of the year, even before they laid off COVID, like beginning of the year. I said, if the Astros do good this year, everyone has to shut the fuck up. Everyone has to shut up. And they didn't do well. They didn't do well at the beginning.
I thought that was nerves, though.
But here they are in ALCS.
Yeah, I feel like the thing is, is I get it. We hate the Astros. They cheated. You know, they're scummy people. It's really bad of them. But if they're doing good fairly, then they're doing good fairly, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. Everyone's got to, like, I dislike what they did. I am mad.
Of course, and no one's obligated to forgive them for what they did.
I am mad just like everyone else.
Yeah.
But if they find their way into the World Series this year somehow, fairly, you got to give it.
Then good
they
on
are
them,
a good
right?
team.
Then good on them. They
Yeah.
proved themselves. They're still shit tier people.
I had the same take about A-Rod when he came back from his steroids. He came back and everyone was booing him and said he's a bum. He doesn't deserve to be a Yankee. Yada yada
Which
yada.
he does deserve to be ridiculed for doing something illegal, of course.
He put up in an aging. He was aging by the time he came back from his whole steroid hiatus. Right, he's getting old at this point. He came back, put up 22 bombs, batted .260 with 20 plus doubles. I'm like, everyone's gotta be quiet now because he came back in a season where he wasn't 100% because that's why he was taking steroids in the first place.
Yeah, 22, .260 is a good year
with 20 plus doubles.
You're producing. You're worth your pay.
He was slugging pretty good.
Yeah, you're definitely worth your pay with an average and home runs like that.
Yeah. So I was like, everyone's gonna be quiet. And I still like A-Rod. I still liked him as a player.
Yeah.
Right.
I even like Barry Bonds, even though he was just
Barry Bonds didn't have a whole lot to like about him in the first place.
I just think his numbers are ridiculous. And even though there were steroids, I still think that you still have to have a certain degree of skill.
Like we talked about when we put together our MLB dream lineups, he still got bad on ball, man.
Yeah,
he still got crazy bad on ball.
Steroids don't make you a superhuman.
No.
They just increase your endurance, right?
They increase your endurance and you're able to train and stay healthy. That's why A-Rod was taking it. A-Rod's just taking him to stay healthy. Right?
And you still have to have the mechanical skill to put bat on ball, that reaction time, the launch angle. Making that launch angle perfect is still incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Having that reaction time is still incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
So I think a good player.
So we'll see where the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees should beat the Rays, but the Rays are sneaky good, man.
Yeah, didn't the Rays? Are they up in the series?
No, it's 2-2 right now.
2-2.
It's 2-2. It's 5-game series for ALDS. Remember?
Oh shit! Yeah.
So it's win or go home. Here, let's check the score actually. You guys will already know by Monday, but it's just for our shits and giggles.
Yeah, the Rays winning the World Series, it doesn't seem right to me for some reason.
Yankees up 1-0.
Like the Yankees, the Dodgers,
in the top of the fifth.
The Braves, and the Astros all make sense for the World Series. The Rays, just hearing that for some reason, puts me off. I don't know why. It seems like something's up.
They haven't been real good since 03-04.
That's when Longoria.
So Longoria was a little later.
Was he?
Yeah, but they weren't the Rays were super good in 03-04 with Rocco Baldelli and
Barack Obama.
Yeah, Corey Crawford. Not Corey Crawford. Corey Crawford was the goalie. Something Crawford. Anyways.
Corey Crawford.
They had a bunch of good guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we'll see where that goes. Like I said, 1-0 up right now. Aaron Judge's solo home run. The Bronx Bombers came to play in this series, man. They're just mashing home runs.
Yeah, they do. Giancarlo Stanton.
He's not a human.
He woke up for the playoffs, I guess. I don't know.
He's not human, and if they get by the Astros pitchers, again they're they don't have Verlander, so they better bring.
They don't. Oh yeah, he got hurt. What do you do?
Tommy John.
Wait, it was Tommy John. Yeah, I remember hearing that, and I was like, Jesus.
So if the Yankees get by, the Astros better bring their A game, or you can't go toe to toe, slug for slug with the Yankees. You can't do that.
No.
And the Rays have found that out in this series. You gotta outpitch them. You gotta outpitch the Yankees. You can't outhit them.
Yeah. Also, another thing is that when it comes to the Astros, I really am against what some people do, throwing at people's heads, which has happened a lot this year towards the Astros.
Yeah, don't throw at their heads.
And I get it, you're a shitty, they're really bad people, and they really just awful, very disgraceful, dishonorable for the sport. But I think, I'm even against throwing at someone any time. For me,
Yeah, we had this conversation before. Yeah.
But we can both agree on that you should never throw someone tag because that's serious. That's serious stuff.
Yeah, to me, I mean,
waist down, right? Waist down.
I can say that I've thrown at people as well as pitching. It's never above the belt. Never above the belt. You usually aim for the belt line, kind of like their hip area, because it's gonna hurt less. You don't want to throw at someone's legs because you can break a foot. You don't want to hurt them.
Yeah. And these MLB pitchers have that accuracy to do that.
Yeah.
Definitely have that accuracy. You just tone down 4 miles per hour on the velocity and just clock them in the hip, and you can hit that shot.
Yeah.
You're an MLB pitcher. You can hit the corners.
1,000%.
You can definitely hit the hip.
And I can't remember who.
And that's different than pitching inside. But you can pitch someone inside to keep them off their game, but you can tell when they're going for someone's head.
That's what
cause for serious injury.
Yeah, that's what I can't remember who said it, but they always said they're like guys are pitching with 98 on the corners. They're like if there's a ball behind somebody,
then they're aiming.
They're throwing at you.
Yeah.
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 But anyways, we'll move on. Yeah, we're excited to see where that goes. The Astros Yankees or Astros Rays is gonna be a wicked series. Dodgers Braves is gonna be, so it's gonna be a fun finish. I probably won't watch much baseball till the actual World. I'll watch the World Series.
Yeah.
But I don't really watch any of the playoffs leading up to it, unless I guess the Jays are in it, which they were in it for 2 total games.
Yeah, dude, we got stomped.
But yeah, so let's move on to NHL 21.
This is the main topic of the podcast.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we have to do something.
No, I'm saying this is it. We've made it.
We made it. You guys made it. Congratulations.
Got through the appetizer.
What?
Got through the appetizer.
Yeah, ready for some main course shit. So, a lot of people got problems with EA every year.
Yeah. All their games are.
They go, hey, what is this carbon copy shit sandwich you keep feeding me?
Yeah.
Sometimes? And I'm a fan of the NHL games.
Well, me too. Obviously.
But when you look at MLB the Show with Road to the Show,
yeah,
and their franchise
like
and everything,
NBA with their Be a Pro and all these other sports games where their Be a Pros are so
it
advanced.
is so much better.
Yeah.
This year, however, it actually looks like NHL did something.
Yeah.
EA Sports and EA Vancouver did something.
Looks like, yeah, I like the overhaul they did.
They overhauled Be a Pro. And that's the main thing. They did a couple other things reading up on it here. But the main thing I am excited about, they overhauled Be a Pro. They added a new fun kind of like mini game into franchise, which is kind of cool.
What is it?
We'll get there.
Oh, okay. Keep me waiting up.
There's new little deeks you can do with the stick, as the Michigan move that Svechnikov from the Canes.
Yeah, they have player-specific deeks.
Yeah.
For certain player signature moves, especially for players like McDavid, he can do a thing where he can do a deke against the board. Where he kind of goes sideways, through, so he can deke without losing momentum.
I think any player can do that.
Really?
I don't think that's the signature deke.
No. I think that's because they said for player. Well, I think they have a certain amount of deking or speed skill. Because supposed to be for players.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying
certain class of players.
Because McDavid's one of those players that can make dekes without losing momentum. His whole thing is that he can blaze past the defensemen on besides the boards and stuff. So he can now do that without having to, in the old games, they said that to deke, you had to lose momentum and then stop and go. Now he doesn't have to do that, and other players like him know how to do it. Probably McKinnon will probably have the same.
Well, McDavid is the highest
speed by 4 points or something, right?
Yeah, 97. 97. Then I think the next guy has 94.
94 is 3 points, which is quite a bit.
And I think he's top 5 in deking too.
Yeah. So I think other players probably like McKinnon will probably have that thing and
that speed and that ability to just hit Mach 1 coming down. Watching McDavid skate is ridiculous. I have never seen a player, and I am wowed every single time. People bitch and complain online. They're like, "Why do you keep posting McDavid?" Because every time it's just I've never seen that before.
Yeah, he literally skates on the ice in 1 second past every defenseman. Does this stupid deke.
He clocks out at 45 plus kilometers an hour. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's really going.
He'd be pulled over in a school zone. That's insane. That's nuts, man.
That's ridiculous.
And crazy. So deeks like that, I think, has been a long time coming. So there's deeks like that where the Svechnikov, which is a cool deke to do. Kucherov got his own deke, the no touch deke, where he kind of fakes and then you let the puck go, slide through the Kucherov made that one famous.
There's Crosby.
Bounced off the net. Yeah, he's done that a couple times. You can chip it ahead to yourself.
Goal guy?
Svechnikov from the Canes. Yeah. It was called the Michigan goal because way back when.
Sorry, I forgot it was synonymous.
Yeah, Michigan goal way back when. It's a player for the Michigan like in the UCW or NCAA, Michigan hockey. He did it. That was the first time anyone ever saw it.
Yeah,
So it's called the Michigan goal, right?
Makes
And
sense.
that was way back when. But Svechnikov was the first guy to pull it off in the NHL. That was this
And
year.
I like
That was nuts.
they also made it so that goals like that can only happen in certain circumstances, under certain conditions, and with a certain amount of technique and skill involved on the stick, like on the controller.
Yeah, you have to be going at like a certain speed at a certain angle.
And it must be like certain like game situations or something, like certain like score, a certain time or something. Like so, it's a big moment. You know, if you're down like 4-0 in the third period, you're not gonna get the lacrosse goal. Like it's not happening. If it's like a close game, overtime, maybe you'll be able to do something cool. It's to make a big moment. So I think it's cool because otherwise people would just abuse the goals like that.
So those are your big updates. We'll jump into them here. We'll jump into Be a Pro first because I think it's the most exciting one. That's the one I want to get to.
Yeah.
So if you ever played like other EA game or 2K games, so like NBA with 2K, their Be a Pro is nutty. Like they're
really good.
I think it's called My Career or something like that, or My Pro.
Something like that.
Anyways, yeah. I have an NBA game. I just can't remember what it's called. It's nuts. Like it's nuts the amount of detail they put into it and like the amount of interactions and stuff. MLB The Show I would say is the next best.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
It's really good. They have a lot of
I like their
a lot
player
of
type thing.
Yeah, they have player types, a lot of interactions with your coaches, a lot of game situations, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right? So NHL's kind of been like, and I mean after years of the same shit.
They've gone through a bunch of little things, and they keep switching it up, and they never really, you know what I mean? Like, you had the thing where you had, like, the family meter, the fan meter, the teammate meter, and the management meter. That would fill out. That was in, what, 14?
Yeah.
And that was, like, alright. It was kind of like, meh.
So, it's like they've been teasing this for a long time, okay?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they had the meter there, and then they also have, like, they have the feedback where they give you, like, game objectives and, like,
Well,
the
I think we're
last
pretty good.
couple. So they've kind of done all that and then added in the MLB Show aspect, too. So they have a lot of, like, interviews. You deal with the media, and then you deal with situations in life, which will, it will boost your,
yeah,
like,
they only have 3 meters now instead of 4.
Yeah, it's
There's no
management,
family.
players, and
Fans.
fans.
There's no family meter anymore. Because I guess you're not obligated to have a family.
That was dumb.
Yeah, I didn't really get that one.
So that's kind of cool, and like the coach, the whole like thing they've done on the Be a Pro, the coach will like tap you on the back on a bench and give you like specific goals, like hey, we need to go like this power play is big for us. We need you to go out there and score.
Which is cool.
And you got to go out there and score. I mean, that's what really happens in the NHL. You know what I mean? The coach is looking for a spark, and he taps a star player in the back and says, "Go get one. Like we need one here."
Yeah.
You know, like I'm looking for more realisticness out of NHL games. That's the problem I've had. Big one, because I'm still playing NHL 20 right now, leading up to getting NHL 21, because I'm just kind of like running back into it. You know what I mean? There's nothing that makes me mad more. Where my Be a Pro, where I am right now, I'm 32. And
you're old.
I'm a 99 overall at this point.
Oh wow, yeah.
Right? And 2 minutes left in the game. We're down by a goal. And the coach just continues to roll 4 lines. I won't see the ice for the last 2 minutes. I go, this is bullshit.
It's weird.
I'm like, in real life, like Matthews for the Leafs doesn't sit for the last 2 minutes. It's just him, Tavares, Marner. Fucking eat it. Just for 2 minutes. Like, just eat this line.
It's
you know
because
what I mean?
The computers think they think too mathematically, and they don't think about unwritten kind of rules that coaches live by, unwritten things that,
It's not an unwritten rule. It's like do you want to win or not?
Yeah.
Like, do you want, like...
It's like, I don't even know how to explain, but no,
do you
other
want Ryan
too.
Reeves on the... No, you want fucking...
It's like an MLB where, like, a computer sometimes will take a picture out halfway through an inning or halfway through a count, which, you don't do. But they think, like, it's weird, and it makes sense in their computer's head, because they're thinking about, I don't know, like, all these little things that make no sense. But since they're computers, they don't think.
But I find MLB The Show
think.
and NBA are much better at that. Like the way the games are written, there's much.
But like a computer won't let like a pitcher pitch out a perfect game all the time.
Yeah, sometimes.
They'll just pull them even though they shouldn't.
But that happens in real life.
Really?
Managers do that all the time.
That's so terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. I hate it.
That's like degenerate.
But like I've seen that happen, but like there's no manager in the NHL that with a minute and a half left is gonna be like, no, I'm gonna rest my stars.
Yeah.
No, do you want to win the game or not? Like, I don't, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, managers get fired for that shit,
The
bro.
AI in general in NHL is not up to par.
Babcock got let go from the Leafs, and I guarantee you half of the reason was because in Game 7 last year, or I guess last year, because the season's over, against the Bruins, played Matthews for 18 minutes. Matthews didn't even see 20 minutes of ice time in that game. It's like, yeah, the coach sucks, bro. He
Yeah,
sucks.
that's weird.
It's like, what are you doing? Guy scored 40 goals this year. Like, put him on the ice. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Matthews is gonna be like, I'm tired. No, he wants to play. Like, play him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to see more realisticness, and I think with this Be a Pro, that's where they're getting at. They're getting. It seems okay. It seems more realistic. I haven't played it yet.
It's
but
easy to sell things in a trailer.
the improvements they're making, I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for like 4 years minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Is real life like. And another thing, like I saw, I guess you saw the same thing because you.
It's like you
watched
like
the
buy an
trailer.
SUV and it puts up like your like offensive awareness by a point. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Well, I think it's I like that how you can do stuff with your money. I think
Yeah,
that's-
do stuff with your money.
We've never seen that before.
And-
NBA had it, I think.
Yeah, and it makes sense though. Like, just buy an SUV to have it. Like in real life, obviously, you buy an SUV to have it. Doesn't make you better on the ice. But you don't like, you know, what I mean, it's a video game, so you have no obligation to buy things. I think to buy cars and stuff for that actually gives you incentive to use your money and make money matter, while also actually making it worthwhile.
Do you think that's so cool?
I think it's cool. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, obviously.
Personally, I haven't seen that yet. So that to me, I'm like, oh my god, NHL's like they're the first to come out with something. I mean, minus any, but in between. Basically, the two sport games I play are NHL and MLB, right?
For them to do that is cool.
Like, my NBA one is 2K19, and they're coming out with 2K21. Like, I'm 2 years behind on those, because I just play it.
Yeah, I think you got Madden like 15 or something, I think. Remember?
Oh, I haven't played a Madden game in years.
Yeah, but didn't you, like, 2 years ago get Madden 15?
Or
Or 3 years ago?
Yeah. I got it a couple years behind.
We don't care. We're not big into those sports. We still like
Yeah.
to, like, play them.
Yeah, like, I do keep up on NBA and NFL. Like, I'm a sports nut. I keep up on them. Like, I know
So you're
what's
not like
going
a
on.
diehard.
I'm not a diehard to the point where, like, if I want to make a trade, I'll just fire up NBA 2K19 and make the trade. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'll fix it myself. I don't need to buy the new game. Where MLB and NHL, I buy them on the day they come out, usually, right? So, but yeah, I was surprised when MLB and like, oh my god, that's a new thing. Like, it gets me genuinely excited to play Be a Pro.
I think you'll like the fact that they're making the AI better for your team and the enemy team. So like your players will take more realistic like skating paths and stuff, and to try to actually create chances.
Yeah, and they're not stuck in like they're not stuck in their
like cubicle
AI pattern where if they see a puck skate by them, they're like, no, I gotta stay here.
Yeah, you gotta stay in your
stay.
box.
And they're just like, it's like, bro, and then there's like a breakaway, and you're like, bro.
Yeah, and if
like,
a player moves out of position, then the AI will actually like try to like, you know, break their path and go somewhere and adjust.
One thing they did cool in NHL 20 with the AI, again, it still wasn't where I wanted it. It still kind of sucked. But the other team would learn what you're doing.
Yeah,
the
AI.
AI was active in NHL 20, where it's like if I skate down, if I blow past the left D all the way down the wing to do a 2-on-1 and pass, they learn that.
Yeah.
So you try to do it again, and chances are that guy's gonna try to hit you because he's like, I gotta stop this guy.
Yeah.
So that was cool, and I hope they stick with that active AI. But yeah, Be a Pro, big overall. Do you have any more points on Be a Pro?
No, not really.
Yeah, we covered. Yeah, we covered most of it, I think.
They're also changing the goaltender physics. They did this new thing where it's like the upper half operates independently from the lower half.
Yeah, I heard that. That's cool.
Which is cool, and allows there's more ability to shift your momentum. So like if you go one way, you're not just stuck in you're like up a goal. You still have a chance to come back. They said that it's still like gonna be not a super high chance because they still want to award good positioning. But now it's easier to shift your momentum back and make it like those big saves.
So another thing, quickly about Be a Pro, I was just reading my notes here. You can also start in Europe now.
Yeah.
And get drafted out of Europe, which is I think kind of cool. It kind of gives you like
Kinda
a
cool,
different, like if I play one Be a Pro and then I go, I'm kind of bored of this, like let me start a new one. I'll start in Europe and be like, just to try it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See how it is. Also, James Cybulski is back as the commentator, and he also hosts his own radio show.
So wait, those commentators that are in 20 gone? Or...
No, that was 20. James Cybulski.
Oh, okay, that was them because they're the ones that are like hype.
Yeah.
They're like hype, those guys.
Yeah. So James Cybulski also hosts a radio show and Be a Pro, and it will talk about your player, to talk about like how like everything going on. You know how like MLB The Show and franchise has like the
where they keep like this team scored this amount versus.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
hate that though, don't you?
They have their recap. I hate it. It's annoying.
I love it. I don't know. It makes it feel like almost more real, and I like that.
Well,
I like the immersion.
I think the show one's just too annoying for me.
Yeah.
And plus, like, I don't care that much. But in Be a Pro, I would, because they don't have that in MLB The Show, like Road to the Show.
I thought it was the only time it happened.
No, franchise.
Are you sure? Because I don't play franchise,
1,000%
and I've heard it. I never play franchise.
You have played franchise.
When did I play franchise?
I've seen you play franchise.
Like once. I was all about that Road to the Show.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Anyways.
Huh.
So James Spolsky has a thing in Be a Pro where he'll talk about your player like as a radio show host. I think that's pretty cool. But other than that, that's pretty much covered all of it. So yeah, like there's Rush. They have a new mode where it's Hot Rush rewards where you play a game, but it's not about the score. It's not about how you win with the score. It's about the stylish. You get points for how stylish the goal was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's like a mini game kind of.
So you can lose 4-1, but if one guy's just scoring on clappers from the blue line, but you do like the deke through 3 guys through the leg goal, you can still win.
Yeah, or you'll get better rewards for losing or something like that. I'm still not quite sure how that works, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We talked about
new game modes are always fun. They're still gonna have draft champions and hot, like normal hot, which are big
yeah,
things.
They're usually fun.
It's draft champions, it's called, right?
Yeah, draft champions is so fun.
That was fun.
That's my favorite online.
That's like MLB in the show Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Where you just draft the team. It's good because your hockey element team isn't always like when you first start isn't very good. So that means it's a good chance to test out those really good players that you might want to pick up their cards.
Yeah.
That's what I did in MLB The Show because I didn't play hot that much, but I was big into what's it called again? I just said it.
Battle Royale.
No,
Battle Royale.
The one like hot where you have your own team.
Draft champions.
No, in MLB where you have your own team.
Oh, sorry. Diamond Dynasty.
Diamond Dynasty, dude. I love Diamond Dynasty. I told you I had a full diamond team towards the end. They were the top tier diamonds, but I had some top tier diamonds. Cause I grinded that stuff. I played it. You watch it. I played like all day.
Yeah.
And God, I love that one so much. But yeah, cause if in Battle Royale, it gave me a chance to try out some cards. So I knew if I got some diamond packs, like one where you could choose, I could choose which one I wanted because I tried them out.
Yeah. And that helps a lot.
Yeah, and it's just fun sometimes to try the really OP cards just because, like, getting to use, like, the 99 overall Signature Series cards that were just, like, completely beyond any sense of reality. It's fun. It's really fun.
No, that's great. I love that kind of stuff. I wasn't as big into Diamond Dynasty, but it's still kind of cool. That's why I like kind of like draft champions, because you just, in NHL, you just draft your team.
And that one's cool, too, because you choose them based off a category.
Yeah.
Either young, old, East, West, Canadian, American, all these different things, which is cool. Battle Royale doesn't have that. Battle Royale is different.
And then you go against like other teams of like different categories and
yeah.
stuff. So yeah, like that's pretty cool. Like their game modes have always been really good in NHL. So franchise hasn't changed much, and I don't think because their franchise is already pretty good in NHL.
Yeah, franchise isn't something hard to master in any sports game.
No, you just gotta make sure you have realistic
trades,
stuff.
Free agency, signings.
I've always found that in NHL there a lot of trades happen or a lot of free agent signings that just don't make sense.
I watched you try to trade for like an hour and a half.
Martin Marincin.
I sat in my bed. This is when we used to share a room at our old house. I sat in my bed on my phone for like a good over an hour. And I watched you sit there and go through every single team in the NHL and try to trade Marincin off. To every single team. It was so funny.
It's because he was getting pissed that he wasn't getting played, but he sucked balls.
No one wanted him. Not a single team in the NHL took Martin Marincin.
They wouldn't take him for a 7th rounder. I'm like, seriously? Like, God damn it. Like,
7th round pick for him, and they're saying no thank you. Every single team. I was laughing my ass off. Man.
I've learned now I don't do that anymore because I've learned that if one team says no,
they're probably all going to say no because they all like to say that. Maybe they should add that specific teams want different things. They do, but it didn't quite work. Yeah.
MLB's got that down.
Yeah.
The team seeking, if there's a team seeking a third baseman,
looking to buy, looking to sell, looking to get these players.
Yeah, if you put a third baseman in, their trade value is higher. Yeah. So they've done that pretty good.
Martin, I go out, get something to eat from the kitchen, come back 20 minutes later, you're still on the same team, trying to like just artificially make this trade somehow. Like, okay, I'll throw another round pick, Martin Marincin, this guy for like this, and then oh shit, wait. Now the money or something is like uneven. Okay, so like toss this, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, just let it go. Just play Marincin, dude.
But that's my favorite thing about franchise mode is I love trading.
Yeah.
I love trying to figure out trades to make your team better, but not like fuck over your fucking salary. You know what I mean? Like I don't play with salary caps on, but I'm always very conscious about.
Yeah, but you literally spend infinite money. You don't play with any money on.
No, because you still end up having a budget. They just get mad at you. They don't actually penalize you for spending over the budget.
Okay.
But I'm pretty good at sticking close. Especially MLB is a lot easier to stick close because they have an actual like, here's what you're making, and if it's I try to keep it out of the negatives.
Yeah.
Basically, I have a rule that if I've set a rule for the franchise I'm in right now that if a trade brings me to the negative, I don't do it. I'll work around to try to fix it to make it a little harder on yourself. But yeah, franchise mode they've nailed pretty good. Now, they added a mini game.
Yeah.
A trade deadline mini game. So here's how it works, okay? So I'm reading this off an article off GameInformer.com. Basically the way this works, okay, and this is real, so I don't have to read this part because I know what they're trying to capture. Trade deadline for GMs, chaos, okay?
Yeah.
And what they're trying to capture with this mini game is the chaos. They're trying to capture that you can't sit and try to trade a guy for an hour because you might be gone. So they have put like a time limit on it almost. And I'll have to like show you the video. There is a franchise video out there. I just haven't found it yet. I don't know where it went. But it's like a screen cap of people, and you have a timeline. It's like trade deadline starts at this time and ends at this time. So you have to go through the day and try to make trades before players are gone.
That's like, I feel like a movie, this is a baseball movie, that captures that really well is Moneyball. When on the trade deadline, he's like, he calls this team and calls that team, and because trade deadline you don't get all the time in the world.
There's a famous picture for because draft day is another crazy day for GMs. There's a famous picture of for us in Leafland where Kyle Dubas is on two phones at once. He literally has the like a actual phone, like a receiver phone, and then a cell phone. He's literally sitting here like this. Because like it's nuts. Like you gotta act. You gotta try to act quickly.
It's really nuts.
Otherwise, like you could literally like. You're like, okay, I'm gonna call this team and make this trade. Oh, I better do this first. You can literally like finish a 5-minute phone call or like finish your bagel, and then you'll turn around, that player will be gone. He's already dealt somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they really tried to capture that with this team, or with this game mode. So basically, what it says, okay? It says leading up to the trade deadline, you'll get reports of what players may be on the block that you may want to scout, and when the day hits on the calendar, it becomes a mini game from 6 a.m. until the day closes, which usually real time trade deadline is around 3 p.m. So it's a frantic mad dash, monitoring available players on the block, making proposals to teams, seeing counter proposals, and then seeing a feed on the screen of transactions as they happen. So you're constantly with the computer, like trying to get the deal before they're gone.
Man. It's gonna be
Dude,
so
I'm gonna have a
stressful.
mental breakdown.
I'm gonna gray hairs by the end of the
I'm gonna be
end
fucking
of the day.
smoking in bed, like just trying to. I'm gonna be sitting there like this, with my hands shaking, like my coffee, my cigarette. So the creator for like Vancouver EA says, I'm really happy with the way our game modes team has captured the frenzy of that day. The whole, if you don't act now, you're going to be left hanging without the player that you really want to acquire. Like that's what they tried to capture.
Yeah,
I'm
really
glad
cool.
they understand. Like they understand
how
moments from NHL now, and I'm like, that gives me hope that this game's gonna be more
realistic.
realistic.
that realism, that tiny bit of realism that makes you feel a lot more like you're legitimately the manager is awesome. That's why I don't know. Like, there's little things like that I really like. Like I like the ability to have meetings with them.
Yeah, the morale meetings.
It makes it feel like a bit more legitimate.
They kind of changed that in NHL 20, like last year's.
Yeah.
You don't have them as often, but they'll come to you, and I think they're going to keep this hopefully. They'll either the coach or the player will come to you and be like, I have this problem. I need you to fix it. So I did a franchise with the Ducks once.
Why the Ducks?
I got sick of playing the Leafs, and I just grabbed the Ducks because they were kind of like a rebuilding team, so it's kind of fun for me to pick it and be like, let me see if I can fix this team.
Yeah.
And Ryan Getzlaff, the captain, right? He comes to me with a problem. He's like, hey, we're not scoring. He's like, and you can either talk to him and say, this is not a problem right now. Like, don't worry about it. We'll fix it. Or you'd be like, okay, what do you have in mind? Like, you talk, because he's the captain of the team, right? So you actually talk to him. You have a conversation with Ryan Getzlaf as the GM. And he proposed to me, he's like, either we need a top 6 forward that can score. He's like, or I think a coaching change is in order. So you promise him a top 6 forward, you promise him a coaching change, or you persuade him that it's not a problem, or you tell him it's not a problem. That gives you like 4 different options, and that affects his morale. So I promised him a top 6 forward. I got him a top 6 forward with the trade.
Did you agree with him that was like the smart decision?
It was definitely an issue. I didn't really want to fix it at that point, so I didn't grab like a great top 6 forward. I just kind of threw away like a 3rd round pick for a guy that's like, he can score, but he's not like the best. And it bumped his morale up for 2 because I kept my promise and it got him a scorer, right?
Yeah.
So like I hope they keep that kind of, like that was pretty realistic as far as like that, right? So because like captains of teams in the NHL have those conversations with their GM.
Yeah, they're captain for a reason.
If they think the coach isn't working, they go to the GM and be like, hey, like I don't think he's a good fit. You might need to explore different options. Or they'll say like, I think something's wrong with the locker room, and it's the GM's job to look into that, right? So I find that was about as real that NHL 20 got for me. So I'm glad with these adding on, if they keep stuff like that, like I have pretty good hope. Plus they added coaches last year, so finally MLB's had coaches for like 10 years.
Yeah, they didn't have coaches. In MLB you have like every kind of coach.
Yeah.
You have the head coach, you have each base coach, you have the pitching coach, the batting coach,
you have
the bat boy.
You have manager, the bat boy, pay him $5 and a fucking Subway sandwich.
I'd be the bat boy for that.
You have the manager, the first base coach, third base coach, pitching coach, and
do they have this like hitting instructor, like batting coach?
Yeah, hitting coach, pitching, hitting.
Oh, I didn't hear hitting. Okay.
And your farm director.
Yeah, and all the scouts. But you do that in NHL as well, right?
NHL's always had scouts. They just didn't have coaches, which adding coaches is really
NHL
good.
had that whole fog of war thing, which I think was really cool. That was NHL, right?
Yeah.
But you couldn't see their stats. I feel like, for different people, if they want that, if I had the patience for that, I'd do it.
I think that was too hard for me.
Yeah, obviously too hard for me. But if I was smart enough and had the patience, it makes it more realistic. Because obviously you don't know how good someone is until they're known. Like, obviously you know good, like, really popular, like Alex Ovechkin. You know how good he is. So his stats will be known. But for lesser known players, you have to go figure them out.
The only thing I didn't like about that, the fog of war, was unrealistic drop-offs.
What do you mean? I don't know how it works that well. So
basically, there's some stats hidden unless you scout them more.
Yeah.
So like their overall could be hidden. Like they can give you like 83, and then you like trade for them. They're like a 77.
But that makes sense though, 'cause that means like you need better scouts to get a more accurate.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I'm like,
no, yeah,
it was like an unrealistic drop off. Like this one player, I think he was like 34. I can't remember what player it was, but I'm like, no, this guy's a good player. And then the next season he dropped like 5 overall. I'm like, hey, that's bullshit. Like he's not. Yeah. He's not gonna get like hit by a train. Like he's not gonna drop off. Yeah. Like that. You know what I mean? And players do that. I get players do that in the NHL. Like look at it. There's a bunch of players that do that. They just forget their. But it does.
I feel like Fog War is good for really hardcore, like crazy. Like they spend like too much time. Like you know what I mean? They spend like this is like they act like the actual GM. They're spending like 12 hours a day, like doing everything. You know what I mean?
And like I'm pretty close. Like I take my like
you take it very
pretty seriously.
But I feel like it takes a special breed of someone on like a shit ton of Adderall to do something like Fog of War. Because you know how long you have to spend just scouting and figuring people out.
Well, I was just mad in general that like
not for me.
I put together with Fog of War on. I put together like a because my favorite thing to do in NHL is to draft or make that expansion team. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Do the draft and pull. I love that. That's so much fun.
You do it with Legends on too, right?
I've done it with Legends on.
Yeah, you do.
NHL doesn't have as many options. MLB does.
Yeah.
But I've done it before. Usually that's when I get bored of the game that I just start adding in Legends.
Yeah, mix it up.
But I was pissed when I did it in NHL 19, I think it was. I drafted the expansion team, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, I got a pretty good team. I got a pretty good expansion team, right? I'm like, it's not a great team. And then like I looked at my lineup, I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? Because like everything was like hidden. I'm like, no, it's bullshit. And I freaking deleted that, turned Fog of War off, and said, fuck yourself. Like I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
It was horse shit. Yeah, I was mad.
Yeah, sometimes all the managing stuff is too much for me. That's why I like playing like an MLB. I loved Road to October.
March to October.
March to October.
Yeah.
So much fun because I had the managing elements, but not a crazy amount. Like, and you got the playing elements, which is fun because you got, you know what I mean. You got like certain moments where like if you're actually gonna make it to the playoffs, you did a thing where you traded for like. You know, like player teams will trade for some big player to help them try to win the playoffs, or like
Yeah,
win.
they usually call him a borrow.
You do that. Yeah, I got
Anderson Simmons.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah,
trade.
Simmons.
Yeah.
And he did work, and it felt awesome. You know, even to get some big names from another team that you know and pull them on for like the playoffs, and it was really good. Like you'd play a game, and then based off how you did, like if you won in extras, then you get a ton of like hotness meter. If you lost in extras, you lose a lot. If you won, you get a little bit. If you lost, whatever, you lost some, then your team would perform better or worse based on if you're building a hot streak or a cold streak, and then you just tried to win the cup. So like if you play cup, the World Series. So you play like one game and then like sim like 4 or 5 and then play one, and how you play determine how well you did in the sim.
Yeah.
So it's like a mix between playing franchise, not playing franchise. You know, I loved that for
It's
for
like
me.
it's like a quick franchise.
Yeah, and I loved that because I
It's
don't
fun.
dump that much time in the franchise. The only thing I can put time into was Diamond Dynasty, and I was just grinding missions. Remember I used to grind those what were they, moments?
I love moments.
Yeah,
So much fun.
I put too much time in the moments, man.
You know,
'Cause I
I
really
don't-
wanted those diamond packs, so I'd just grind for hours these moments, man. Into the night, it'd be like 4 a.m. I'm like, give me the fuck. I want that bloody card. Give it to me. And I'm just like frothing at the mouth.
You know what I don't like about the moments is that it's online based because you get rewards for online games. So I can't play it without internet. It's maddening. That's maddening.
And it's one of those things that if you can't open the Spotify app because I was listening to music while I did it, otherwise I'd go insane. But since it's online, if you suspend the application to go into Spotify, then it logs you out of the online. So I can only use like the quick menu, and so I just like put 3 albums, so they're in my recently played, and I just like go through those.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited for NHL. Like I said, I'm gonna buy it next week when it comes out. I didn't pre-order it because I didn't really get around to it.
I used to rely on you for that stuff, and I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna buy it because I don't want I'm not a big video game. I'm not a big anything spender. I buy like video games that are like
Money's
$30.
Video game is about the only thing I'll spend money on
Yeah.
because I know it's gonna bring me lots of
If I
joy.
had money, I'd do that.
I got
Probably.
fake money, credit cards, fake money. But yeah, that's all about we have time for this week. We're excited for NHL. Hopefully we see that.
I'll play it when I come over for the podcast. We can have a match before or after. Actually, that'd be so much fun.
Maybe we'll live stream a match. We should do that.
That'd be, dude. That's awesome.
Maybe we'll live stream like a gameplay review.
I usually lose in NHL though. In MLB we're pretty even, but NHL. No, actually no. I do okay
We're
in
pretty
NHL.
even both, I think.
Yeah. In NHL actually sometimes.
Alright guys, so if you really enjoyed that episode, hit subscribe or like or review, depending on what platform you're listening on. It really helps us out a lot if you do that. We thank you again for listening, and we will see you next week.
Peace.